Hello and welcome to The Gaggle, where we challenge and, if necessary, destroy media narratives. I'm George Szamuely. With me today, of course, is co-founder of The Gaggle, Peter Lavelle, host also of RT's talk show, Crosstalk. Well, a shock horror revelation took place over the weekend. Apparently, and I know, Peter, this must have come as a shock to you. It certainly came as a shock to me. The National Security Agency of the United States, which is basically responsible for electronic surveillance, has apparently been spying on European political leaders, including, of course, Chancellor Angela Merkel. It had been doing so with the assistance of the Danish Electronic Intelligence Agency. And more interestingly, this took place. This is an investigation that's been going on since Edward Snowden. Now, Edward Snowden, of course, revealed all of this in 2013. So this is a long time ago, but apparently this has now been confirmed that, whoa, Snowden was onto something there. Interestingly enough, they said that the spying was continuing from 2012 to 2014, because when Snowden made his disclosures in 2013, the US government said that, well, we're not doing it anymore. So that Obama administration, of which, of course, Biden was vice president, was lying. And I think we can be sure, I think you would agree, Peter, that the spying is going on now. I don't think it ended in 2014. So the real question is, and it's a very tough one, what are the Europeans going to say to Joe Biden when he comes to Europe in a couple of weeks? What do you think, Peter?
Not much. Not much. Okay. I mean, it's so interesting, isn't it? I guess it's now like 5 years. How dare somebody meddle in our politics? Right. Yes. Oh, and what about our valuable allies? You know, we have to respect our allies. We're alienating our allies. Okay. Right. Yeah, you are alienating them all the time. I mean, you've said it so many times here. Is the callous disregard the U.S. has for its allies and basic ways of treating your interlocutors. Okay, I mean, this is just, I mean, and this is not the only time they went after Merkel. I mean, they're finding every way, 30 different ways on Sunday to wiretap and surveil all of these people here. They never, I mean, I didn't know Angela Merkel was a national security threat, but I guess she is. Okay. I suppose Emmanuel Macron is as well. This shows the rank hypocrisy, okay? I mean, here is clear evidence that this happened. Clear evidence, okay? Right. Names, dates, data, technology, the works, okay? Colonial Pipeline. Right. How much do we know about that? Right. Okay. Are they even interested in finding out about that? Right. So, I mean, it just shows the hypocrisy is that, statecraft is done by everybody all the time. So don't stand that you're morally superior to everyone else, okay?
Right. Of course, what's interesting about this now, why were they spying on Merkel? Well, because the Americans were trying to interfere in Ukraine, and they were very mistrustful of what the Europeans were doing, because they basically were suspected that the Europeans were kind of not quite on board with the coup d'etat that the Americans were planning there. Hence, Victoria Nuland's famous FEU telephone call. So they mistrusted it. So this is their view of their NATO allies. They're people they don't trust. They think, hey, they're not really 100% on board with what we're trying to do. And so they're spying and want to know what the hell they're doing. I'm sure they're doing it now with Macron. I mean, they don't like it that Macron says things like NATO is brain dead, or sanctions against Russia are a complete waste of time. Yeah, that's how they view their, quote, allies, unquote. But then what was interesting, if you remember when the Snowden revelations came out, the response of the US media was a kind of, oh, are you so shocked about spying? Well, of course we spy. I mean, what do you think? Are you still?
We did spy. Yes, yeah, that's okay.
That's right. Okay, so if you're going to be all worldly, well, of course we spy. Who doesn't? Then what are you getting so indignant about with the Russians? I mean, even if what you say is true, that this cyber attack is from Russia, this cyber attack is from Russia, basically it's espionage. And since
everybody
do it, then Russia is entitled. Everybody's entitled to do it.
Let's be clear, everyone. If you're on Gmail and your password is password, I can guarantee you at least a dozen, maybe 24 foreign intelligence services are going to be reading your mail. Okay. Okay, that is obviously clear. And I want to also make clear to everyone, no government admits to doing it, okay? And if you're caught, it shows you're incompetent. That's why I believe WikiLeaks, that they got these through a non-Russian source, because if it was a Russian source, it's like, he doesn't change his password, does he? And it just goes on and on and on. An intelligence agency would never stop something like, you just let it keep giving, okay?
Right.
So that's why I don't think any intelligence service was doing that, because why would you cut off a valuable source of information?
Right. No, that's exactly right. So now we'll watch how the U.S. media respond. I looked at the New York Times, Washington Post. They're not covering it because they couldn't care less. And if they do cover it, they'll again say, well, what the hell, we do it, you do it, everyone does it, until of course the next, oh my God, there are Russian intelligence agents, moving around in Washington, D.C. I've never heard of anything so outrageous.
They should worry more about Israeli intelligence officials, Chinese, Turkish, the Emirates. These are the people, okay, that you have to be really worried about. All right. I suppose on another thing that you mentioned Ukraine. Yes, they wanted to be monitoring the German government because of Nord Stream as well. Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean they don't. Yeah, they don't trust the Germans. Even though this German government under Merkel has been very slavish towards the United States. I mean, this isn't the Helmut Schmidt, Helmut Kohl German government, but during the Cold War when they pursued a policy the Americans really were pissed off about, namely the Ostpolitik. But in this case, I mean, they've pretty much gone along with it. But even so, for the United States, this is a matter of just indignation. So we can look forward to this meeting. Can you imagine this meeting that will take place of the NATO summit? Hey, have you been spying on us? Not to my knowledge. Okay, that works for me.
And anyway, by the way, I got your number.
Exactly.
I already got your number.
Exactly.
Enjoy your dinner tonight with your husband. I know where you're going.
Right.
No, but it just shows arrogance and it shows hypocrisy. I mean, if you're so concerned about statecraft, then you're doing the wrong thing and saying the wrong thing. Okay, so I mean, I don't think that anything will be said. It just shows that you're two-faced. Okay, like on so many other things. Okay.
Right.
You can't buy more Russian gas from Russia because it will hurt Ukraine.
Right.
Okay. Well, it's really quite stupid, because then the Americans say, but to buy our gas. Well, then what about your Ukrainian friends? Okay. Right. If you're buying it from America,
then exactly. Yes.
You're cutting into their market. What's more important here? See, I mean, when they're confronted with it, they're just indignant.
Right. No, I think that's a kind of an obvious logical problem there. We're really worried about transit fees. Ukraine is being denied its transit fees, but yeah, you can buy our gas. And what about Ukraine's transit fees? Oh well, we'll worry about that some other time. So yeah, I mean that's exactly how they think it. But the extraordinary thing is that. The Europeans continue to put up with this. I mean, it's like, this is the way they get treated. And yet, they saying the other day about Macron. Macron just says these things, he's articulating what should be in, the mind of any European statesman, which is, Europe has its own interests and they do not coincide with those of the United States. And then they fall back, and then we're back to good old NATO, the Western Alliance, Euro-Atlantic institutions, and so on. So,
that's what it gets down to. I mean, I've seen it a number of occasions with my own eyes. It's called elite capture. I mean, you don't necessarily have to have Angela Merkel or Emmanuel Macron on your side. You already have your influencers or even paid off people in the defense ministries, in their foreign ministries, in their universities, in their militaries. It's really, really deeply embedded. So, I mean, you could have a change of party that's running parliament, but it's not going to change. It's not going to move the needle anyway. I mean, and I'll give you examples. It's very simple things. With the countries that are in NATO, their militaries go on exchanges to America, okay, where they go to this defense institute, and it's basically a junket, okay, and it's really a super luxurious. You're treated very, very nicely. You're treated like a pet, okay, and then you're at it like second lieutenant, and then when you go to first lieutenant, you get to go even the higher level in the nomenclatura system, okay. This is what they do. They slowly buy you off through institutional payoffs and prestige and all that. And so if you're a general in the Dutch army, you could give a hoot what the prime minister says. You're more worried about when the next grant's going to come around.
No, that's right. That's right. Because in fact, that's an interesting insight into it, because it appears that the Danish intelligence agency was doing this without the knowledge of the Danish government. I mean, not unlike in the United States, where the actual government knows very little about what exactly the FBI and CIA are up to, and that's been the case a long time. It's like whenever U.S. government actually wants information from the CIA, like can you tell us a little more about what you were doing in the Bay of Pigs or in Vietnam or anything? Suddenly, no, can't find these documents. Sorry, gone missing. So, I mean, there's very little governmental control of these agencies.
Because these agencies, they have their own deep vested interest of not only their survival, but their enhancement and bigger budgets and all of that. And again, you and I have said repeatedly here is that the whole NATO apparatus is basically a soft power con, okay? It's a PR con, okay? And all of these lavish things. I mean, I have a friend of mine who used to be in the military, and he went on NATO maneuvers in the Mediterranean. Right. And he told me straight to my face, he said, yeah, we do these maneuvers all the time, but the American forces just have complete contempt for the Europeans. Right. I mean, if they show up with a ship, fine, okay? It's a joint exercise. But we don't count on them to do anything, actually. Just sail in a straight line, okay? And, successful operation. That's exactly how they treat them, okay?
No, that's exactly it. No, NATO is always been a fig leaf for the United States to show that, well, this is a collective decision. It was all, 30 nations took part in this decision. Well, no one takes part in this decision other than the United States, and then all the others, the 29 others, have to sign off on it. But it provides the fig leaf that, well, this was a collective decision. We really thrashed it out.
It's like NATO in Afghanistan. It's a NATO operation. I remember I was told that by the American when I was in Kabul. He said, this is a NATO operation. But at the same time, I'm going to get the countries and the conditions wrong. Don't hold me to it. But the Belgians don't fight in the snow. The Germans don't fight at night. The Italians don't fight in the rain. Okay. And then who knows? The Luxembourgers don't fight at all. They're just there. Okay. I mean, they all have their conditions. Okay. And so that, it doesn't count, though, there are 14, 15 countries, here is NATO, and it's just a complete sham, okay?
Yes. Yeah. No. It's the United States is always doing things like this. So, I mean, when you look at Syria, was that coalition fighting ISIS? How many is it? 60 members? I mean, there's 60 states that are members of it. I'm sure half of them don't even know that they're members of this coalition.
No, I'm sure the word went out. Buffet at this address at this time. Sign up to be a member of the coalition. It's an open buffet, all you can eat, all you can drink, all you have to do is sign and it's done. I'm sorry. I obviously don't know if that's true, but I could well imagine it. Okay. Just come and sign here. Okay. Got it.
That's it, exactly. I mean, it's 60 states. I mean, they really know this. Yeah, hey, we're serving kebabs starting at 8 p.m. tonight, so be there. All
Hey,
right.
we used to do it in graduate school all the time. Sign up and okay, all right, we get a free lunch. Okay, what did we sign up for? I don't know, but it doesn't matter.
And free meal. All right, Peter. We will see what happens at the NATO summit, whether the Europeans raise this issue and with what vehemence they do so. We are now on Locals.
It's thegaggle.locals.com.
Exactly.
And please support us in any way you can.
Exactly. And we're also on Rumble. Look us up on Rumble. And remember, if you like The Gaggle, please like, share, and subscribe. See you soon. Bye.